Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Lounge of You Go Girl. I am Lydia, and I'm the host of this podcast. And I am back today with another message, feeling energized and ready to get this day started. I wanted to do an exclusive podcast for YouTube. Normally, I share the same podcast on Spotify as well because this podcast, You Go Girl, is on Spotify as well as my channel here on YouTube. But this one is exclusive for YouTube, and that's because YouTube has gone through an evolution, a change. So therefore, I wanted to do something just for it. So today, we're going to be talking about prioritizing joy in your life. And before I get into that, I wanted you all to know that has been listening to the podcast that I did change the name of my YouTube channel. It went from Lydia's Life TV to Living Life by Design. And I confused a lot of people, but I tried to give some notifications about the change. I posted it on the community page. I did like little videos and clips and stuff just to let people know that in videos that I was going to make a change, and it was necessary. It was a necessary change to help this growth that that I'm going through. Life is constantly changing, life is constantly evolving. And so therefore sometimes you got to move with it, even though it's scary. You can be afraid and fearful of what's going to happen. Sometimes we're afraid that, we're going to lose people. Excuse me. But it's necessary. And if people do fall off, it's okay. You know why? Because those people weren't meant to go with you on the journey. And there's a whole big world out there. I think sometimes we worry more about losing people than gaining new people. So whoever I lost, thank you for the ride. Thank you for the time you spent with me. But we're going onward and upward, right? So today we're going to be talking about prioritizing joy, because on this journey and this evolution on living life by design, we're focusing rather on the healing process of the woman. Healing those things that is necessary for this woman to continue her journey and live her life by design. Because ultimately, it is your life, and it's uniquely your life, and it's not going to look like anybody else's. It may be similarities, but at the end of the day, your life is your life, and it's going to be yours to design for you. So that's why I decided to name that channel that. And we're focusing on healing. And a part of healing is creating joy in your life. Now, a lot of the time people are saying, I'm happy, but it's a difference between being happy and having joy. Because happiness is something that is temporary. It's something that, happens in spells. Things can be created in your life. You can participate in certain things, or people can make you laugh and you can feel happy for the day. But joy is something that happens inside of you. It's created inside of you. So even if the world is raging on the outside, if there's traumatic, whirlwinds, storms going on outside, that joy that you create inside of you can't be taken away. That's why sometimes when you see people who have been suffering from a terminal illness, and you see that bright spirit, and they're smiling and they're encouraging other people, even though they're going through storms, that's that internal joy that they have. So we're going to learn how to prioritize joy in our lives, because we can't control the things that happen outside of us. You can't. And for a long time in my life, I thought I could, because I felt like if I moved here, if I did this, this job, or if I stayed away from this person, that, I would be just happy all the time. But you can't control that, because we suffer so much from damage from our past. And that's a big part of the healing journey that I'm trying to help women go through here on the channel, because some of us are holding on to things that we have been scarred from our past. We're holding on to that stuff, and it prevents us from fully recognizing how we can be happy and have joy, internal joy in our lives, because you're constantly being reminded of either things you messed up on, problems you have. It could be financial, it could be health wise, it could be your children, it could be something that happened to you from your past that you've never gotten over. People who suffer from abuse. I'm one of those people. I suffer from domestic assault, from a step parent in my teenage years. And for years, it kept coming up and coming up and coming up. And it affected me in the relationships I had with men, because I was determined that no man would put his hands on me. So I suffer from that. I suffer from, letting them know, hey, you got the right one here, because, this is not happening. And I would break relationships off from guys that, I thought was getting a little aggressive with me. And sometimes probably rightfully so, or sometimes maybe not. But, those were things that I needed to heal from, because honestly, the man is dead and gone, right? And even though I may feel like he owed me something, he can't do it, right? He's not here any longer. So what do you do in situations like that? Do you continue to drag that ball and chain of pain and humiliation and, shame and, from your past continually into your future? How will you ever live life if you're constantly thinking about something that you can't get over? And that goes out to people who desire relationships with parents who don't want to have anything to do with you, or parents that gave you up, or a spouse that left you and you weren't prepared, and you're just sitting in bitterness because you don't understand. Even some of my brothers and sisters out here who may got cards dealt to them that they didn't ask for. You might be at a point where you cannot go through life doing the things that you want because you had to pause your life because of something that's going on in your life. Whether it had to do with you, trying to help out a sibling or child or parent, like a lot of my listeners and followers that are at a point in their life where they could have enjoyed this emptiness or this single life, but now they have responsibilities. So we don't know how to create joy in our lives so that while we're in this pause of life, we can still have that. It's possible. And we have to prioritize it. Just like you prioritize getting up each morning and you're committed to making sure you have food. You're committed to making sure that you clean yourself, or if you have a job you have to go to, or even whatever that commitment is to taking care of someone else. Put yourself on the list as a priority. And when you do that, stick to it. So you have to take time for you so that you can prioritize you and create joy. I keep telling people, and I had to learn this myself, pull away from social media sometimes and the news, because all it feeds us is pain, misery, and suffering. And yes, we want to help. And if you're able to help in those cases, do all that you can. But oftentimes there's things happening around the world that we have absolutely no control over or any solutions for. But if you're constantly feeding that, listening to it, watching it, it does nothing but fill you up with sadness. And how will you ever prioritize joy in your life if you're always mentally going back to something you've watched or heard or seen? People around you who are always unhappy about something or complaining. Sometimes we get in that mode where we're complaining about our jobs or complaining about that work we got to do or that thing that we have to do. You have to train yourself to be better. So one of the things I do in the mornings when I get up, because some mornings I can get up and I'm dreading having to go to work, even though I have a job now that I actually like. But I'm at a point in my life and a stage in my life where I'm ready to sit down. I'm tired of going in and making, someone else rich or doing something that I am not passionate about. Not that I dislike my job. It's just not my passion. That was somebody else's. So, I'm at a stage in my life where I am developing the things that I'm going to do when I retire, and I'm ready. So when I get up, I'm like, oh, you got one more day, getting up at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. And, sometimes I'm just not feeling it. So I said, I have to learn and train myself to get out of that funk. So one of the things I do, I get up and I have Amazon Music. So I go in my living room and I turn on my TV and I ask Alexa to play me some relaxing, calm music. Music is healing, guys. Hope you know that. It's healing. And I listen to my music while I'm preparing for my day. So I go ahead on and I'm getting dressed or brushing my teeth or making my coffee or doing my hair, putting on my makeup. This music is filtering in my mind. And I used to get up every morning looking at the news. News is not priority for me right now. So I had to switch it up and turn that channel to something different that will be good for me, to create in me that peaceful mind as I prepare to go to this job. So you have to see these little things where you can make small changes in your life. Getting outside and allowing yourself to get a little sunlight, because sunlight is energy. It is a medicine, and it will help pick up your spirits. If you are sad, if you are depressed, sun can do the most for you. Now, I know a lot of times people are not able to leave, but you can stand out on your porch, in the backyard, in the little street, the sidewalk, and you just stand out there, increments of 5 to 10 minutes a day, and allow yourself to absorb the sun rays. Those are ways to energize yourself. And when you're taking a bath, make that an oasis for you. Buy some things that are calming and soothing, bath salts and scents, aromatherapy. Get you some nice coffee, or I shouldn't say coffee, or tea that will help you calm yourself. Sleepy time or chamomile, those teas that relax your body, lavender tea. You have to do things, small things, to get yourself to a place where you can feel calm and relaxed. And if you are someone that's able to get out, prioritize yourself and take a day, take a stroll, go to the water, go to a market, walk around, be amongst people so that you can see something. Get out of your same environment that you see every day. That's a big priority to me, that I see something different. Sometimes I say, I'm just going to go for a ride. And I just take in the scenery of the trees and the blooming flowers, or if it's fall, maybe it's just the crisp air and the changing leaves, the smells, the scents that you have outside. Read a book. If you don't read, get an audio book. Listen to podcasts like this one or others that will uplift your spirits. You have to be intentional about prioritizing joy in your life. Get a prayer life, spiritual life with the Almighty, and talk to Him regularly every day, asking Him to give you strength to let go of these things that have drug you down. Start to exercise, stretching. If you can't throw yourself into a full exercise routine, stretch. Small stretches to some relaxing music. Get your body loose. Stretching is good. It releases tension in your body. These are all things that you do to prioritize having joy in your life. And once you start doing this, you'll start noticing a difference in the way that you feel. And you'll start to smile again and to feel good about you. But the more you continue to allow things to filter in that is negative, that's toxic, that is evil, you can never have that joy. And those of you that can even do more by traveling and taking trips places and have hobbies, you have a playing field of things that you can do. So we all can do things in small ways. It just takes you being creative and prioritizing that, prioritizing you. So I just wanted to send this message out to any of my ladies, or whoever's watching and listening this podcast right now, to make it a priority to prioritize joy in your life so that you can have a better life. Until you can come off of this pause or if this is what your life is, you can have that small oasis of joy just for you. So thank you all for listening today to You Go Girl with your host, Lydia. I want to thank you all for joining, and please follow and also subscribe to my new YouTube channel, Living Life by Design, helping the woman to heal, to live her life by design. And I thank you so much. And I will see you all next week here in the lounge. Take care.